on the bench, got a British Enfield revolver. This one is dated 1942. So you can think about what was going on in 1942 and what this was used for. This is the, yes, the World War II. This is the one you see that officer and he's going across, you know, he's leading his men. He's got that revolver in his hand. It's not a Webley. It looks like one. It's not as nice as a Webley. It's not as well finished, but it is a top break. There's a lever on the side. Push that back and it loads, it ejects as it opens, and as it loads from the top, close it up, and now you've got 6 shots of little tiny, cute, here's an empty brass, little tiny baby 38 Smith & Wesson. I think if you were shot with a 38 Smith & Wesson, it'd probably make you really mad. People talk about the 38 Special, not having a lot of knockdown, not a lot of penetration. The 38 Smith & Wesson is like a third of that. It's kind of a cute little round. It's a 200 grain lead projectile, not traveling very fast, about 600-700 feet per second. And like I said, not real knockdown, not real effective. Cool little gun. Like I said, it's not as, you know, you always think of the British as having that Webley. It's not the big bore like the Webley, it's just a 38 caliber. But it is kind of a cool, totally utilitarian gun. It's not blued, it's kind of blackened, like a paint. It's got this nice big handle for, you know, God, it just feels pretty good in your hand, but it just shoots that little tiny baby round. Got a video of John Henry shooting it last summer, back when the weather was nice. Today the weather is absolutely terrible, so we didn't go shooting today, so it's kind of a sad day when you don't go shooting. But remember back to when the weather was really nice, and here's John Henry shooting it.
This is cooler. We record?
Just squeeze. And you can see when he was shooting it, after he was done shooting his 6, there's a lever here on the left side. We'll just press that down. You see it's a brake action that'll open up that brake, and it'll push that hammer back a little bit. And as you open it, it's going to eject. You'll see the ejector come up, and it's going to eject all 6 of your rounds. Click it down. Now you're ready to load it up again. But what John Henry was doing, he was holding this little. I'll put a couple. These are spent shells. I'll put a couple in. So what he was doing is, if you look down here, there's this little button here. So as he was pop that open, you'd hold this in with your thumbnail, and if you hold that in, it slides underneath there, and it doesn't eject. So we didn't want to lose the brass, so now it doesn't eject. But if I keep that closed, let me see this little lever here. If I don't hold it in, it's going to catch, and that's going to raise that ejector up. Now it's going to eject my. Here's drop those empties right out. So what he was doing, he was just holding it with his thumbnail right there, and that way we weren't losing our brass. Because this 38 Smith & Wesson brass is kind of hard to come by. Normally, you'd eject all 6. You push this lever down and a little bit forward, lift up, and there's all 6 ejected instantaneously. Now you're ready for your reload. But this is a double action only. So what that means is the trigger does 2 actions, double actions. It not only cocks the hammer, but it also fires. So if this was a single action, we could pull the hammer back manually, and then the trigger would trip it or fire the gun. So it would do one single action. But a double action, it's going to cock it, rotate that on to a new chamber, and fire it. So the trigger does 2 functions, hence the name double action. You'll see it has pretty nice sights. Fairly accurate, believe it or not. I mean, it's a low speed, low power projectile. That 38 Smith & Wesson is kind of a tiny little thing. But it was a lot of fun to shoot. It does have that big handle. It does accommodate my large hands. But if you look at it, you know, the screw head's exposed and it's black, and it's just, I mean, it's not a pretty gun at all, but it is just kind of a beefy, solid, you know, I think those British, it was all about utilitarian, nothing pretty here. But a lot of fun to shoot. I put a little lanyard on it. Picked this up from eBay. Kind of dressed it up a bit, and it goes in the safe now, and it does really well sitting there next to my Enfield rifles. So I got an Enfield revolver. Kind of fun. This particular model is the Enfield No2 Mk1 star. So what that is, there's no hammer spur. It is double action only. It was made, you know, wartime, so things were simplified and kind of rough because they were trying to knock these out because they need a whole bunch of them for the war. But it is a 38 caliber, so it is a little different bullet than, like, say, a 38 special. Much smaller. You can see I compare. I have the 38 Smith & Wesson next to a 38 special and next to a .357 Magnum. You can see how small, diminutive that little round is. Again, just a great little piece of history to hold on to. Like I said, it was made in 1942. Did it go, you know, did it hit the beach at Normandy? Was it in, you know, the South Pacific? Was it in Burma? Did, you know, where did this thing go? Would love to know the history of things, so I could, you know, just know in my head that this was somewhere. It was just kind of cool. Like I said, it was made in 1942, so it had a chance to see combat. To, like, you know, did it make a jump? Did it make a beach landing? Did it? You know, where was this thing? Kind of fun stuff to think about. If you like these videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I'll keep making more. And like I said, if you don't like it, no, screw you. No, if you don't like it, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me how I can make it better, and we'll start making better videos. Hey, we'll see you in the next video.